Have you ever wondered why a client raises so many queries about your price? Or why, when you're in contract, there's lots of queries and back and forth about your allowances and valuations? Let's take a look at how changing up the way you structure your price will help you convert more work and stay on top of project cash flow. Hi, I'm Chris from School of Sub, the YouTube channel that brings you commercial and tendering tips to help elevate your subcontracting business. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and hit that bell icon so you don't miss out on our new content every week. Before we get stuck in, let's look at the documents the client's provided you with. If there is a BOQ, you must use this document. I can understand why you might not want to, and you might want to use your own document, but please use this document because the client has invested money to get it put together and it will help them do their tender analysis. Of course, feel free to have your own document that straddles it, but you will really frustrate the client if you don't use their BOQ. Breakdowns. You need to provide them, so do it before you're asked. Now, estimators can be overly cautious about providing too much information when it comes to breakdowns because it can be looked at as disadvantageous and open you up commercially. I see breakdowns as a huge opportunity. Here's why. Number one, tender comparisons. Now your breakdown should show your quantities and your rates, and this way the client can easily analyse your tender against others. More importantly, they'll be able to pick up on any anomalies or errors in your pricing if your quants are too high or if your rate is too high for a particular item. Reason number two, valuations. Your breakdown of your quotation essentially sets the method of valuing your works. So if you flip this and think, well, I can use this to my advantage to help with project cash flow, what you can do is start including and breaking out certain items where there's mobilisation, design, lumpy costs that you would pay up front but would struggle to claim for when you're in contract. Another example of this would be first fix and second fix. A lot of the time, these elements are combined into one item, but what you should do is split them out. So when you've completed your first fix, you can apply for that 100% upfront and there'll be no questions about what you've applied for. Reason number three, your company image. If you provide a detailed breakdown, the client's going to think you're totally transparent, and by doing this, you're going to be perceived as the most comprehensive and less riskiest contractor to proceed with. This way, the client would be more likely to go with you and be able to proceed a lot quicker than they would if there was loads of questions about your price. 4 things you're doing in your pricing that are stopping you from winning work. So please guys, stop doing it. I'm going to show you now. Mistake number 1, VAT. You do not need to add VAT to your quote. It is totally irrelevant at this stage during tender. I've seen contractors add VAT and artificially make themselves 20% more than they needed to be. Also, VAT can vary from scheme to scheme. So guys, and for the avoidance of doubt, do not add VAT. Mistake number 2, additional items. Now, it's really good practice to pick up additional items and price them. I completely think that is the right thing to do. But including them above the line where someone might have missed the additional item, you will start putting yourself out of the running. A more intelligent way of doing this is by pricing the exact scope and identifying the additional items as an extra over below the line. Mistake number 3, provisional sums. Now, a lot of us can be overcautious when it comes to provisional sums and put in arbitrary, lumpy figures to help cover ourselves. But what you need to have in your mind is that the client's got a certain budget, and if your provisional sum is too big, it's going to start pushing them above and beyond their budget. So be super granular on your provisional sum, have a reasonable build-up behind it, and that way you can substantiate the provisional sum if the client asks about it. Mistake number 4, quantities. Stop hiding your quantities. You look like you've got something to hide, because you are, and it doesn't help anyone. If you show your quants, the client will probably review them and be able to acknowledge if they're under or over allowed early on. The takeaway. Structure your pricing so it's efficient for both you and the client to digest. By doing a detailed breakdown for every single quote, if the client has to ask less questions about your quote, they'll be able to get to a decision much quicker because you're the less riskiest and most comprehensive contractor. And don't forget that your quotation effectively sets out the agreed method for valuing your works. So avoid hiding lumpy upfront costs that you might have to pay and break them out and get that cash in early. And that's all from me, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. Don't forget to like, share, and if there's a topic you want to discuss, leave me a comment. See you next time.